Yeah. It's interesting. It's that belief is so powerful. And it, like you said, the good is the byproduct of it. The belief shapes how you live and what you do, and the actions that you take day in and day out. Everything stems down to to fundamental truths that you believe. And for those people who don't believe that there's any objective truth, think about the last argument that you got into. That is evidence, case A, exhibit A, for your belief that there is an absolute truth, that there is an objective truth. We wouldn't get into arguments for things that we really felt like, oh, Louis, you could think what you want to think, and I think what I want to think, and that's okay. Let's be okay. And, go back to the people that you talk to, the postmodernist mentality. I think that's such an important thing to just step back and really dissect that. Really dissect that for a minute, because you have this group of people that kind of pointed at religion and said, get that stuff out of the public square. We don't even want to talk about that over here. Just keep that, privatize it in your own house. That's fine. You do you just be over there. Just don't impose that on me. But now we have this radical postmodern thought, like you said, that is like, you need to believe exactly what I believe, or there's a violent attack coming your way, whether verbally or physically, so it's like, whereas the religious people were being accused of proselytizing and, putting ideas out there and pushing religion on people. Now, all of a sudden you have this anti-religious, secularist idealism that is now being pushed on religious people from the opposite end of the spectrum. And it's just this constant ebb and flow that we see here. But it all boils... Pendulum. What's that? This pendulum. Yeah.
It's just a pendulum. That's all we are.
All swings back. And you look at history too, and it does it throughout history. But what's interesting too is you go back to this firm set of beliefs, this Christianity being rooted in this foundational understanding of your identity. Who are you? We have an identity problem, an identity crisis, I would say, just as people. We don't know who we are, where we came from, and that is the constant quest that we're on, is this seeking of truth. We have this desire, this God-sized hole in our hearts, right, that we're trying to fill it with things, but nothing in the world ultimately satisfies us. And so you go back to these fundamental truths that ultimately somebody believes, and you see just how quickly that shapes their idea of being a good person, or their idea of what they think is the right thing to do. And that boils in, it seems to me, to that relationship with God, with Jesus, right? That relationship with the truth. And if you don't have that relationship, which is a working one, it's not just, oh, I believe this and I don't believe that at this particular point in time, but it's an ongoing thing. C.S. Lewis, will bring him back in here again. I love how simply he coins it. What good is it for you? Something to the effect of, what good is it for you to say that you follow Jesus, but don't intend to do what he says? Like, if you're going to actually have this relationship with somebody, this relationship with the creator of the universe that's rooted, has given you this new identity that all of a sudden shapes you and how you should think, not that you'll be perfect at it, but how you should think, how you should move, how you should act. And that is going to necessarily produce this version of yourself that ultimately is how you were intended and created to be. That's the byproduct. The starting point is that belief and that trust to walk, right?
Yep. Well, I'd say too, Jesus said it himself, if you love me, you obey my commandments.
Yeah. Super simple.
It's really not that hard. Like, if you love Jesus and you believe that Jesus was who he says he is, then you should want to do what he said to do.
Yeah.
Right. And live the way that he said to live. Right. And then we have, James, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Right. Like, if I'm not, I hate this analogy, but I'm going to use it. Right. If I'm sitting in a chair right now, and if I told you that I believe that this chair would hold me if I sat in it, but I never sat in it, like, does my belief mean anything?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't, because I'm not acting upon it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing goes with Christianity. If I say that I believe in Jesus and I say that I am a follower of Jesus, then I should want to live in the way that Jesus lived.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for checking out this clip from the Practical Theism podcast. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to check out the full episode, you can do so by finding it on our YouTube channel. Definitely consider subscribing and ringing that little bell so you can continue to get updates and notifications when we release new episodes and new clips just like this one. I hope to see you soon.